The only way for me to alchemize my fear into greatness is to move through it, is to face it, and to alchemize it into growth, courage, expansion. It wasn't mantras. It wasn't affirmations. It wasn't ayahuasca. The only way out is through. The moment that I started taking action to through the fear and in service of myself, my whole life started to change. People and resources started to flow into my life. I connected with the spiritual healer who facilitated my spiritual awakening. I joined the leadership program that helped me forgive myself for the wounds of my past, to help me understand that my journey and my mission is to be a lighthouse in this world. I reframed everything that had happened to me up in my life up until now. I stopped thinking of myself as a victim or a survivor. And everything transformed. And I stepped into leadership and I made it my mission to serve others in this collective. And that was the decision that allowed me to truly take flight. But in order to get there, guys, it took me stopping running from the fear and recognizing that if I am feeling the fear, it means that there is something for me to face and there is something for me to move through. Wherever in your life you are feeling that fear, you are feeling that fear because you are being called and invited to step into your greatness. And your egoic self, that little devil on your shoulder. And again, your ego is not your devil. Your ego is your amigo. Your ego is a friend with the right intentions, but the wrong fucking advice. Your ego is desperately trying to use fear and doubt and insecurity to navigate you into isolation, disempowerment, and stagnancy because it has this misguided belief that in that you will be safe. The same way that if you spend your whole life sitting on your couch, eating fucking bonbons and watching Maury Povich, yes, you will be technically safe, but you will also be fucking rotting away. And you will feel that rot in the depths of you because your soul and your spirit and your higher self the entire time are going to be telling you, this is not the way, guys. There is something missing. How many of you have felt up until now that there was something missing from the path that you have been on? That's because your higher self, it's whispering to you every day, there's something else. There's something more. This isn't it. This shitty job that you're in isn't it. This state of disempowerment you've been living in isn't it. This prison that you've created for yourself isn't it. But the only way out of it is through. The only way to alchemize your fear into joy, abundance, and expansion is to face it and move the fuck through it and recognize that it is an illusion. It is smoke and mirrors constructed to stop you from stepping into your greatness. All of my greatest breakthroughs have come from me leaning into the things that scared me the most. And I am afraid, guys, every single fucking day of my life. I am afraid every single day of my life because I am continually stepping into the things that scare me. And that is why my life continues to get better and better and better and better in a quantum way. And the version of myself, as I reflect on myself 6 months, a year from now, 6 months, a year in the past, I am literally unrecognizable from who I was a year ago or 2 years ago. George asked, isn't this super stressful? Fuck yeah, it is, George. But you know what's so cool about this? This is stress that I have voluntarily taken on because I know I'm fucking built for this. Does this make sense? I continue to lean into and consciously take on the stressful experiences in my life because I know strength cannot be built without stress. Growth and greatness comes from stepping into the unknown. Are you with me? There's a quote on my board that I remember that I think about every single day before I do anything in my business. It's that pressure is a privilege. There's two types of stress, right? There's the stress you're feeling in the back of your head when you're eating shit, working in a shitty job, living a half-lived life. I can tell you, as someone who did that for a long time in my life, there is nothing more stressful than waking up and selling out on yourself every day. That's the worst kind of the stress of being in a dysfunctional, abusive relationship. The stress of every day of going to some shitty muggle job and knowing that you're renting your life out for 10 cents on the dollar and someday you're going to die. And every day you're spending working in a job that isn't supporting you, that isn't in your highest purpose, is another day you spent on this planet not living what you actually came here to do. That's stressful. And I spent decades doing that shit. The stress of me getting up every day and being like, all right, I'm not guaranteed another week on this planet, but what am I going to do today? I'm here stepping into the unknown, living my purpose. What's the choice I'm going to make and how am I going to step into that today? That's fucking stressful, but that's the stress of me becoming stronger. I've recently started lifting weights and working with a trainer, and it's reminding me the way that we expand as metaphysical spiritual beings is exactly the same way that we expand as physical beings with our muscles. You gotta put stress on the system in order for it to grow. But if you lay on the couch and allow your body to atrophy and rot away, you are also putting stress on your body. The stress of your back locking up. If I were to be sitting down at a desk all day in some shitty ass muggle job, that would be putting stress on my body as well. But you know what? You know the stress I like to put on my body? Going in and lifting a bunch of weights, feeling myself getting stronger, feeling pain in my body, and then feeling my muscles swell and grow. It's fucking glorious. Pain oftentimes is nothing more than weakness just leaving the body and your ego fighting, kicking and screaming the expansion that's happening. That's the stress that will transform the trajectory of your entire life.